in this episode of VOX Juventus.
Als de wak een nanku, the downfall can start. Ora
Yeah.
bonoti environment que people fall back on. Ora see the heightened stress. You have a lot of questions about your identity, your sexuality, where do you belong. Teenagers are almost entitled to feel some kind of depression. But it is very time consuming and energy consuming. But when it interferes with their functioning, ora nanopo just get it going. And nanopo get themselves to school and get themselves to be themselves, actually, hey, maybe we should take a look at it. Try to live day by day with the little things that let you know and show you that you have incredible strength. We try to build up a stable team. That's not the, that's not the creating perfect teams.
No.
And we don't expect that tampoco, pasobra. We all know the journey is about falling down and getting back up. Life happens. It can get tough, but what makes you you? Ato Kiko Tahasiko Abata, very unique in this situation because there's no other person that is you.
Hey everyone! Bom-vindo à primeira parte do episódio 16 de VOX Juventus. I'm your host, Ashna Tayson, coming back to you with some new VOX Juventus content. Are you curious of what our guest speaker is talking about? Emotional downfalls, stress, feelings of wanting to belong, depression, dealing with unrealistic expectations as a youth, building stable teens instead of perfect teens, and unique situations that young people can learn and grow from. Tudo isso aqui da tema na nossa papia dinha primeira parte de episódio 6 de Into the Mind with a Child and Youth Psychologist. Abo quer saber mais? Then don't go anywhere. Queda conosco dinha primeira parte de episódio 6 de VOX Juventus. Hi everybody, bom-vindo a episódio 6 de VOX Juventus. Agora nos acompanhar com guest, Misha Raymond. Hi Misha, como vai?
Hi, bom dia, Ashna. Conta vai Kubo.
I'm doing good, Please introduce você a nosso oyente, não?
Ok. Mi nome é Misha Raymond. Eu trabalho como Child Youth Psychologist na RESPALDO, na Kinder- e Jeugdpsychiatrie. E fora disso aí também, eu estou especializada em infant mental health, porque mental health se muito de 0 para 5 anos.
Thank you para aceitar para estar guest speaker para nosso podcast. Tem a série aqui, em particular, que trata de saúde mental de nós jovens. Vamos jump right in tem o tópico de episódio aqui está Into the Mind with a Child and Youth Psychologist, onde nós vamos conversar tocante a diferentes fatores que estão relacionados na saúde mental de nós jovens. Para começar o episódio aqui, eu quero apontar uma pergunta seguro que gente quizás não sabe, pero tem viaja não está confundir com quizás algo outro. Kiko ta saúde mental? Kiko saúde mental significa?
Okay, that's a good question to start with. Sobre mim te quer, se vou mencionar a palavra saúde mental, very rarely você vai pensar que nós tudo por sofrer de dia.
Correct.
Viaja gente te pensa, it's not gonna ever happen to me, of dan te pensa, no, is het echt gente não louco, of gente começa a ter intensive care, de uma maneira que tá almost unimaginable, right?
Correcto.
Saúde mental, het is aqui the positive sense, in a positive sense, but sobre everybody has a mental health. Nós estamos falando yori ora mental health is not okay.
Yes.
Nós estamos falando yori ora no deal with the everyday stress and routines, and nós estamos falando ora kaya fora de certo aspecto na vida, onde que abo mesmo não te sente para funcionar na sociedade de maneira nesta etapa. Onde que bota over being ruled by fear, of being ruled by sadness, of being ruled by stress, by depressive thoughts, by anxious thoughts. Onde bono por pick up life as usual, bono por meet up with friends, bono por go to work or go to school, bono to feel balanced. And I think that's the best way to describe it. Bono to feel like you've got it. But the same time, every little thing that could happen, by throw you way off your balance, even no possible to pick it back up. I think that's in a very broad sense. This people very specifically over the kiko bota papi or nós papiando de saúde mental com nota balance.
Correcto, correcto.
Yeah.
Mire que het is importante para informar nos oyentes de que unificação eigenlijk tá, para motivo que hopi bia gente não tá confundir saúde mental com pessoa com esse de ajuda
Yeah.
psiquiatra.
Yes,
É
precies.
importante para tomar em consideração que saúde mental não está especificamente relatada a mental illness. Eta algo que nós turtico trata e também cuida hopi DJ.
What's that? It is. It is. It's a little more complex than just nos turpo because
Exactly.
of course nós está pensa também over die susceptibilities en de kwetsbaarheden. En hoop je bijvoorbeeld se você tem conversação para promover com psychologist ou um psychiatrist na poderá você dembo família tem traces of people who suffer the same symptoms as you would or you have. Então, nós também it's genetically porta predisposed para sofrer de tipo de saúde mental, vooral no momento quando nós the stress the elevated. And that's what it is eigenlijk. It's an interaction between a susceptibility and increased stressful environment. The environment is onmisbaar. If you take into consideration kung environment affect your daily living, there's no way around it. It's always going to be part of it. And of course, everybody can suffer from a mental health deficiency, pero sempre nasa waki kwetsbaarheid and susceptibility. And what maakt of kiko tahasi, the chance to be más grande, a persona aqui para sufrir de mental health illness.
Mi también está full de acuerdo con lo cual ella avisa. Es nota algo simple para definir, pero también tiene diferentes aspectos que está influencia, por ejemplo, el environment de la persona, pero también aspectos hereditary que nos no tienen control de. Ahora, mirando eso aquí, estamos hablando de salud mental. ¿Qué conisha por contami de salud mental entre nos jóvenes?
Okay. Me do tiki bias sobre, of course, jóvenes ko amita work, e acaba te jóvenes ko very rarely por funcionar on a day-to-day basis without it leading to a heightened stress of a heightened feeling of not being able to get through their days. But of course, salud mental se ka jóvenes no to kuminsen nang. We have to take it way back to the early childhood. Anto nos tawa tambe inang konang emotion regulation din na emotion tawat environment. They feel like they were being seen, being heard. Natasinti ko natin safe haven to go back to. Ora stress te increase. En het is eigenlijk poco te ontwikkelt zich. In de basisschoolleeftijd is stress te subi. Dus nos bij expectings, dan is de expect patient lezen, expect patient skibi, social, dan bij make friends, dan bij komt ze join sportclubs. Dus is stress level te komen ze subi. Ora Natasie is overgang die 6e klas van middelbare school. Is stress through the roof.
Correcto.
Nete momento sí.
Mostrando ng mes que não está na identidade, pero também está hallando outside influences de Kiko não está supposed to estar. Kiko não está supposed to sacar, abo se você não está certo com, abo não está praticando, abo vivendo de uma certa maneira, abo não está tal coisa. Então, acaba não está hallando certa influência não que está tratando de forma não identidade.
Yes.
Está trabajando mental health, yes.
Absolutely. Então, você maybe del pasado no estaba así fuerte, pero no see social media hoy en día and everything is a comparison. Because but social referencing is 10 times even more of influence que estaba like 10 years ago.
Yes.
But a wata beku de nata uphold na miss to a certain image kunanta pensa any 13 or 14-year-old should be able to say, do, act, or wear. And they say it's impossible to meet those criteria. So half the pictures are Photoshop. Those others, it's unrealistic. You know, the downfall can start.
Yeah.
Ora bo noti environment ko po fall back on. Ora bo see the heightened stress. You have a lot of questions about your identity, your sexuality, where do you belong, and to life decisions ko po tingo bahas bo bo tingo ki certo vak nang ko tabay bepal ki studi po pahas si of no unda bo tabay studia. And the golden question of of that period, kibo ke biro bo bira grandi. So there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And for example, teenagers are almost entitled to feel some kind of depression. But so, but it is very time consuming and energy consuming. But when it interferes with their functioning, or just get it going, and get themselves to school and get themselves to be themselves, actually, hey, maybe we should take a look at it. So, but teenage years, yakaba the main characteristics of a personality that they can shape. And it's aqui também por maneira saber é por gekristaliseerd door wat tot je maar volwassenen. It will depict a lot of your choices as your personality is being shaped. So we would want to interfere or nós estamos hope red flags.
Yes, correto.
Yeah.
Tem diretor, como eu tem tempo como eu estava escola secundária, então sempre é talvez algo super interessante, é talvez que jovem hoje em dia, da maneira eu vou começar a correta própria. Jovem hoje em dia, da maneira auto ou veículo bonito. Na tour parte na dercha tour costa mostra maneira deve ser, no sentido de para foto mostra mais bonita mesmo, mais apresentável, pero de para dentro de roupa costa que na nota mostra ou na nota larga mostra, para motivo que na não quer delusionize people de identidade que não apresentar na mesma outra gente.
Yeah, I think that's a very good metaphor. Simply because bona sa ko tem problema com o auto teore cai na banda de parte canti caminho tubo me se chama road service for being double, right?
That's
You know you need an oil change. De mi caso ora lusa sende tres luna cava, pero you know you need an oil change. Pas ora it give indication that there's a problem, but it's almost like you cannot foresee the problem is going to happen. Of ora motor quente, ora bo falta kiko, bo falta congas. It definitely is a good metaphor, and strangely enough, quando pone mi corda e cantica di John, sono di Pabalongs. É começamento de é começamento de vídeo onde é movimento zundra passou é auto quebra então é também assim para é body tá bio é motor tá bom and that is para mim I think it's a very good metaphor que está sobre se você não te concentrar no body pero com o motor bom é auto quebra sim pero se você pensar riba what makes the car drive I think it's a very good reference.
yes.
So, me me praktijk.
Sim. Metaphor é desde como a graduou a escola, ela se come, qual o homem está sentindo, é importante não somente como está apresentar a mim mesmo como individual na rede, mas também como não está larga esse conflito com quem me está de padrinho.
And it's a journey, and not you should know and figure it out all at once.
No, not at all. There are things that I still haven't figured out yet.
Acho nami tampoco. It's a journey, and it sometimes it saddens me tambe pa how much teenagers can struggle with their identity, struggle with who they want to become and what they're leaving behind, and it cocooned you butterfly. Sometimes it doesn't look that pretty, but you really have to go through the journey to get to the end point. And sometimes nós tá majority of the times, nós tá certo coisa de jovem não ainda na mesmo po of nós tá certa maneira com não cope with stress or cope with problems com na mesmo tá ainda. E nós tá por de highlight is também in sessions, nós het gaat niet rooskleurig zijn. You're not going to have everything you want or everything you set out your heart for. Pero try to live day by day with the little things that let you know and show you that you have incredible strength. Krachten. Wat zijn de krachten dat je eruit kunt halen? And that's how we try to build up a stable team. That's not the creating perfect teams.
No.
And we don't expect that tampoco, Pasobra. We all know the journey is about falling down and getting back up.
Yes.
And that's just the purbando, dos lo que no está, así que nana, the full team no está. That's the purba nana, they show teenagers like life happens, it can get tough, but what makes you you? Ato kiko tahasiko abata, very unique in this situation because there's no other person that is you. This,
Yes.
I must admit, I like working with teens. I really do. And so it's a very enlightening group.
Eu fico contente de entender se buraco maneira ma mencionar no começo hopi viaja tem bad perception de como joven neta guardo mirar of como neta guardo tratar oral ora não está para pedir na saúde mental.
It's unfair. The comedy is unfair pa sobra. I think between 12 and 18 or about 19 in this case, but you are allowed to be at war with yourself. So with the finding out and you're discovering things about yourself. And it almost seems like teenagers are not allowed to be at war with themselves.
Right.
So but the brain develops up until you're like 23, 24 years old.
Yes.
But we expect all these decision-making, planning, rationalizing from teenagers that simply said their brain is not allowing them to do. So we should allow kids and of the men, about teens, to be a little bit more free to be at war with themselves. Of course, within that war, teen limitations and so norms and rules and parents who expect and parents who say, well, pero it's that's the journey they have to make because it's a very big change biologically, in every sense of the way, hormonally, physically, and their mental health is also being tested. So definitely it's a very interesting period in a lifetime.
Yes. Awo, nos menciona tiki, par de common things que tá relatando a saúde mental de jovem que nota go through, pero me quero apuntar a mirando mesmo sua profissão, quizás por ter outro mental health related issues que tá comum entre jovens, então quizás lo posso explicar também em detalhes Kiko não tá insera?
Sure. I think the most reported symptoms que nós temos depression e anxiety. Fuera de sei, botin coisas que been there up and around, maneira suicidal behavior, of antisocial behavior, which we see more often in boys than we see in girls.
Okay.
But the most reported que nós temos, the anxious and depressive symptoms. Okay. And it's a también nos take we're going to take a look with a microscope at it. The anxious feelings not age related, but you toets other simang of you have to make a big decision of what you wedstrijd die sport club of what's that, is it age related, yes or no? See not age related of see not context related. Iedereen acaba nos probak. Misschien is er sprake van psychopathologie, omdat kwetsbaarheid interact met hoge stress, wat maakt dat een persoon nog just get over a bubble and to pick it up. But definitely anxious behavior, depression, and we do see a lot of teenagers who come in who show early signs of personality disorder. We also see that as well. See.
Okay. Okay. Great. Ito hopi interessante pa haya informação aqui pessoal. De mi seno de grupo mes de persona que me conhece. Me conhece duas pessoas que têm esquizofrenia, pero hopi bia me tá ponto mes, okay, me tem dois friends que têm esquizofrenia, pero quanto mais outro jovem for experienciando mental disorders na Aruba, o tipo de informação aqui não está disponível, então me está compreendendo de como pessoa está privada, para good reasons, para manter a privacidade de jovem, pero me está interessado se com hopi essa que está ressaltando,
Well, não sei que dia assistir das nossas curva de acumular nos database and to curva de cijfers.
Mhm.
But it's aqui tá inmiddels, I think like maybe 5 years ago, que nós acessei.
Mm.
Ja, in de tussentijd também respaldo is an entity on its own.
Correct.
Nós a koppel los van het ziekenhuis. It's always going to be interrelated, of course, pero nós está los gekoppeld van het ziekenhuis. It brings a lot of new challenges and a lot of new opportunities. Pero esse também meste worden made into something.
Exactly.
Adoconos que sigue provide is zorg of sigue provide cifra nampa também nós temos uma boa ideia what are we talking about? Because we have a lot of information, we just have to bundle it up all together and get a clear indication of what we're talking about. Pero definitely it's in the plans for the future. Para nós assim algo que aceitamos. The more nós por presentar também from this is what we're dealing with on our island, the better we can prepare também para interventions.
Yes, exactly.
Sim.
Misha menciona algo interessante. Tawata tem aspecto que tawata mais conhecido em muita hamber com muita mulher. Por vai tique mais de detalhes de essa aqui, quizás?
Sim. Lo que nós estamos nós temos, of tenminste, voor onderscheid twee dingen. We tien externaliserend gedrag. Dus ze zeiden wanneer ze worden portrayed to the outside world, is zeg maar externaliserend gedrag. Dus dat zijn de kosten candela, tira kosten kibra, dus grita. Daarmee wordt die internaliserende problemen. Dus wordt de klap dicht, wordt een jorhoppie, wordt bij jou richting kaba die depressive symptoms, anxious symptoms. Lo que nos da WAC, especially by boys, is eigenlijk die no cifra na die 5 anos, is start die externaliserende problemen. Ze kan met je handen doen maar strimpang, met een keer rond een jaar of 11 of 12. En het is start bij meisjes, dat ben je just 4, just 5 anos. Maar het duidelijk verschil daar, meisjes dat internaliseren problemen hoop je mas. Dus ora nata começa, bijvoorbeeld deze trend puberty of nata começa high on periods, but awako nata getting physical symptoms of the changes, but awako ita increase ng emotional instability tambe. Esa no sa ripara. So it's not a big secret, pero hopi mas mucho moheta wardo aangemeld com anxious depressive symptoms. I hopi mas mucho hamata worden aangemeld com eigenlijk ADHD-klachten. Risk-seeking behavior of very impulsive, na gedrag dat oncontroleerbaar, dus por no po handle moet je kie.
Correct.
Dat klaag mas grande. Nogmaals, als dat was het interfere, zie het age-related, zie het interfere tambe kunang further development, pata well off in society. Zij zien ons dat wel.
Correct.
And we can go deeper than that, no? Sobre if nos think at context and the society all over the world is different. Maybe Kiko lo waro considera kinang man yung mental health problem, no lo waro considera assim na Europa of na Zuid-Afrika of sa outra parte do mundo. So we have to take it tambe. Daarom het onze palavra zeitgeist. Het is de geest van de tijd. Pero wat ik nemen mee tambe ding what is being considered a problem in today's day and age, and why can't you just function according to society rules? Dus essa também tem impact hopi grande riba what is being considered a problem.
Correcto. Ita pensa lo cual a Misha explica tocante de tipo de aspecto mais comum relacionado à saúde mental, com depressão, anxiety também Misha menciona. Nanta zonami maneira kosnan ku eta jammer ku nanta guardo mira como kosnan tipis ku nanta ervar, pero etapa sa hopi. Tim viaja não está toma hopi tempo como hobi não pa acknowledge ku eta issue ku ta ponendo nos vai atrás, então ku nos nota address it, então nos noting ajudo of nós está curva de buscar ajuda adequada para quando nós temos medo. E porta hopi difícil.
Yes, and imagine that, right? Bota sa middelbare school and everybody is being prepared para baya for studia. Bota si bonota parte de grupo que queda aqui na Aruba para seguir o studio.
Yes.
Everybody is being prepared to go out and
Yeah.
literally you're being prepared to go out in the world sem bo fallback system, sem bo trampolina. Sobre si bota na Holanda, and the scariest thought is I'm going to be a 10-hour flight away.
Yeah.
But in miedo ko si algo pasa back home, I won't be able to reach in time of me no po llega of how am I going to survive? Hanto, nos tursa na school bono tahaya, kung ba yan ang papel ni belasting, bono tahaya sa how to make an adequate list of your priorities. Hanto, isa também tá hasi com anxiety to rise. Vooral in época kung nantin ko bay studeer af, hanto bay afo, hanto try to figure out life, especially on their own.
Exactly.
So, nos também to take that into consideration. En nogmaals, er zijn cultuurverschillen. Je kan imaginatie wat een biba kaba af voor de exterieur. En de kleinste stap daar komt het is bij een universiteit of een hogeschool. En dat een mensen grande komt literally leave everything behind. And then to start a new life and take on all those responsibilities after a 10-hour flight.
Yes, exactly.
En zij daarmee wordt basta heftig.
Yes, exactly. Em nos previous episode, episode 5, onde comi a papel com o joven tocante de na experiência, pero também conhecimento com saúde mental, não explica que, interestingly enough, dat eigenlijk misa acaba que sa kita sucede hopi, pero school em geral é maneira que tá hincada em outro, e nota echt donavo e tools para começar preparar como tem de manter bom mês, ou como tem de cuidar da saúde mental. Então, também, o qual me já descrever maneira belasting, ou maneira como planear a prioridade, escola não te ajuda a set goals, set action steps, para chegar na meta de uma maneira que está mais stabiel, mais gerecht riba bo, que echt focus, que logra. Dus het tipo de aspecto ne também, ora que não desarrollar tipo de coisa, né, também é um fundação, ora não desarrollar essa maneira misha te bisa bo vai a fo, tá hobby difícil para de par de minutos ou par de horas para semana, bo vai ajustar bo mesmo sei. It's very hard.
It is very hard and we quer basis está wankelend. We quer having to deal with more stress factors and the basis está wankelend. And to para você sentir também, mané, I got this, if I can do this, en mensen dat broad investment de basis. En de investment dat ziet eruit bijvoorbeeld met kooklessen of como dat prioritiseren bijvoorbeeld plakken of como dat manage het tempo of ora bota bij worden confrontar com belastingspapieren. Don't stress, don't panic. Kiko bot tingo hasi, onda boko aku tipo ajuda. Bota certa parte nan também de mundo também ho geregeld in die zin com outra parte nan. Dus what are you going to face? What are the challenges? Wat tingo face ora bota bij afo. A mim sempre te bisa também vooral bijvoorbeeld ora met die hoop in te drenten então they paint a pretty picture of the things that are going well with the money, but if it's all that pretty, why are you here? But let's get to the nitty gritty and let's get to the parts that are not pretty. Because then you know what you're dealing with. What is the part that makes Kubonota Sinti that you can move on and move forward? So a well-balanced foundation of I think that is the shooting point for everybody. Doesn't matter what comes your way, what stress factor to come your way, but before always fall back on a balanced foundation.
Þetta super essential. Mirando o nosso papintiki de Kiko e joven ng den a previous episode a menciona, nang trese e tópico de anxiety, pero também pressures, qual enkelek nossa papi de je acaba, pero algo que nos não llega na je ainda, anto que nang menciona, tawag ko hopi-hobi ng door di mental health related challenges ng fronting ng of door di hina ng diferente factor ng kuta humural, nanta lean towards coping mechanisms. Dus, in sentido de maneira não para manter a mes numb. In sentido que na nota sinti, of na nota cana, ku e bulto di pressure driba na lomba, pa at least un par de minutos, of pa at least un hora, un dia. Kiko, Michelle, po contar nos tocante di coping mechanisms ku joven nanta usa of prática. Ito hobby común, então, que tipo de coping mechanisms orweita?
Well, first off, boting adaptive coping mechanisms, e boting maladaptive, right? There's boting, there's a way to go in a healthy sense about it, and there's a way to go unhealthy about it.
Correcto.
A lot of teens conosco what, they have both, and tienen nanta extraordinary artists, nanta pinta, they make music, they write poetry, nanta externaliza e gevoelens, nanta zet het een beetje verder af, nanta doen aan sport, nanta plan, nanta organize things, nanta verdiep na mis de un subject and to show incredible talent about it. Pero también nos tiene maladaptive part, unda kunanta, they could lean towards drugs or alcohol or cutting, there's automutilatie. And all of this is a way to decrease stress. And hope biyaha e coping to switch on, or e stress ta sinahalto, ku e fundeshi ta by wankel uit elkaar. So you need to do something but get a little bit more stability. Coping is a lifelong thing. Pasobra, you're gonna get stressed at kindergarten, but so na kita bo rattle fibo, but I get stressed na basisschool, but so na kita bo kleurpluk potlood fibo, but I get stressed in de middelbare school, vriendinnen kunnen op papje maas, moet je kunnen kiko, the stress is lurking around the corner. Sempre nos te enfocar about what do you need in order for it not to feel like this. En dan hoop ik bij teenagers nog behangen exacte woorden die na mister. And I say that with a journey in itself. Finding words for what do you need. Not only what you need from others, but what do you need for yourself. So hope ik bij as humans, nós está geneigd para bisa, sempre não te escuchami, sempre não te compreendemi, sempre não, sempre Kiko boca bisa, que bota sinti e não te escucha, of Kiko bota haia, que ainda a pessoa não compreende, então Kiko, of com nos pohasi te compreender wat ik mas melhor. Dus het is vragen stellen, para een mas duidelijkheid van wat maakt que a balance is in a wankelen. Pero coping is essential. Então, nossa focus que na riba é maladaptive coping. Or another, insert certain behaviors para por deal com out of this world stress que nata senti.
Sim.
Pero definitely needed. I'm to encourage painting and music. As I também me As I também me click como tá aí hope biar que hobe não. And then hope biar to put it on. So, what do you listen to? Do you like music? And I don't want to see pero bono con esse tipo de music aqui. I'm going to try me. So, I'm a music fan, so try me. Se eu me algo hope estranho, I would have to Google it, pero so coping is essential, definitely.
A maneira como Misha descrever é part of life, é long life journey, então echt long life journey. Daily, volvemos a prática de vida, hasta como adulto, even
exactly.
as
And sadly enough, you learn how to cope from your early years. Or you're a 3-year-old kid and bonahan candy, right? And for emotions nato all over the place. So but a temper tantrum, bonahan candy, best part of your day, but the guardado with the chocolate. And your mom or your dad comes in, and to inaano sa papiano tambe di co-regulatie. Je moet je daar helemaal uit de regulatie en op regulate emotions and op regulate the stress and op regulate he wants the candy and mama not escuchando. And then you have a parent who to come in, and the parent is supposed to help you regulate all that is going on. Yes. So, se a parent dysregulated, se a parent começa a gritar, and to bisa, para malo na mo come capa. É muito nota sim, compa barra su stress. É nota sim, compa regulate su mes. Popi biar nós pinte maneira assim aqui. I need you to help me regulate my emotions. And kids don't have the words for it, and they don't understand what's going on. So imagine if that's a pattern, right? Imagine se certa sigue by, the kid is 3, and the kid is 8, and the kid is 13, or nunca bo assim, it must be a bira, and it's going to be part of you. The harder it gets to accommodate your coping in a very healthy or functional manner.
Yes.
Because I get that dysfunctional. So it's a time to focus on seeing the smaller kids to help parents help their kids regulate. Yeah. We literally tell the parents, I cannot help your kid because I need you to help me help him. What's that is we need to do it together. And poco poco you're able to step back as a psychologist and to put a laga irregulation take its course.
Correcto.
So it's almost like the teenagers, if you've never learned that, you got the short end of the stick. Then you would have to learn it by yourself, and then you would have to give it shape, and that could be a little harder.
Correcto. Yes. Boa llega na final di primeira parte di episódio 16 di VOX IUVENTUS. Queda pendiente, e di 2 parti di episódio 16 lo está disponível very soon para por escucha e WAC. Hey, prometo babai, danke para escucha e episode aqui. Se abo a gostei e a é interessante, check out nos outros episodes riba YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast e Google Podcast.